Hey everybody, the purpose of this video is to help you open up an image, crop, resize, and prepare for print in our Sylvania Art 141 print lab. We've got a really nice set of printers that we've got set up a specific way. So this video is to help you make sure that you've adjusted your image so that it prints as well as it possibly can in our lab. Okay, so right now I've got lassoed for this video on my laptop, which is different than the computers that you're using in class. I've got an Adobe Bridge open and one of my older images here. So I'm going to double click on this guy. This is the one that I'm going to crop and print for you. And when I double click on it, it's just like in the lab. It's going to automatically open up in Photoshop because it's a JPEG. If it was a RAW file, it would open up in Camera Raw, and we could do some edits there if we chose, or immediately choose to click on the Open Image button in the lower right-hand corner, and it would automatically open up into Photoshop. But that's not happening. This is just automatically opening up into Photoshop. Now, I was messing around with Photoshop earlier today, so when I open up this image, it automatically goes to the crop tool. That's not what it will happen with you. If you're opening up an image for the first time, you're automatically going to be on the move tool. That's fine. Again, this display is different than what you're going to be seeing in the classroom because I'm on my laptop. And I know we tell you guys don't use your laptops for editing in class, but the class computer doesn't have a video making tool where I can lasso what I'm doing on it, so I'm just doing this on my laptop. So I have an excuse. Anyways, my workspace looks different than yours. Don't worry about it. All the same tools are there, and I'll try to remember to show you what I'm doing so that you can access this on your computer. Okay, so we're going to go to the crop tool, which is down here, and I want you to pay attention to this information right here, this properties panel. When I click on the crop tool, this property panel is going to change. Oh, look, it just changed. Right here is what I want to draw your attention to. This is the ratio right here where we can select a ratio. When you select the ratio, essentially what you're doing is you're selecting the aspect ratio of the paper on which you intend to print. In our lab, for the lowest price available to you, you can print as large as 8 inches by 12 inches, which is a really nice big print. That price varies depending on PCC's budgeting annually, so I'm not going to name it right now, but that's the least you can pay for a print is our 8-inch by 12-inch print. And that happens to be a 2:3 or a 4:6 aspect ratio, so we're going to select that. I automatically get a bounding box around this that has an overlay of a golden spiral on it because that's a preset that I've put into my computer. You don't have this preset, so let me show you how I got there. Right here, this little graphic is our overlays, and if we click on it, we can get a rule of thirds overlay, which is something that you might be more familiar with because of that's a compositional device we've talked about in class. You also have the diagonal overlay, which is kind of fun. You've got the tight grid overlay if you're trying to crop and straighten architectural shots. This is really, really helpful. You've got the golden ratio, the golden spiral, this triangle thing. I'm just going to go with the spiral because I really like it, and that's it. Now, it's not pointing in the correct direction to be useful to me, so I'm going to rotate it. The shortcut for this is Shift-O, so you can see it's rotating all over the place. There she is. That's the way I want it, right there. And now I'm going to use this to help adjust this image a little bit and make this the best image that I can, in my opinion, which is just nearly arbitrary, right? I'm just going to move this around a little bit more and kind of want to get rid of this and leave that. That's it. That's the way I like it. Okay, and I'm going to click return. Actually, no. I'm going to fuss a little bit more because I cropped a lot of the leg off. I think I have to. I think I have to crop off some of that leg. Yeah, I think I can do that. And we'll fix this a little bit before we print it. But I'm going to click return, enter if you're on a PC, return if you're on a Mac, and there it is. Now, you know, this is going to print any way it prints, but just so that I can think about this a little bit more clearly, I'm going to rotate the image in the direction that I want it. And that's going to be, they hide this sometimes. Let's see where it is. Oh, I remember. Sorry. It's not hidden, it's where it's always been. It's right here. And I want to do this counterclockwise, 90 degrees right there. So, and this is how I want it. I feel pretty good about this. Okay, the next thing that I need to do is I need to add a brightness contrast layer. When you convert your image from something that's emitting light, a medium where light is being emitted, like you're looking at it on a monitor that's projecting a light towards you, there's a change, because we're converting that to a print. So the print is paper that reflects and absorbs light, whereas the monitor emits light from it, so it looks different. So we have to compensate for this different look. We're going to do it by adding an adjustment layer, which is going to be right here. These are our layers. I have nothing going on right here. Best practice, by the way, best practice right here is going to be to duplicate this layer. I just right-clicked on it because I'm on a PC, but you can control-click and you'll get this panel. I'm going to duplicate the layer. I always call this working. And then I make my original file go away, but that's a different story. But anyways, so from here on my working layer, I'm actually going to add an adjustment. I'm going to add a brightness contrast. And we've tested this for you guys. You don't have to really worry about this too much, but we need to add a brightness of 30 right here. Wow, that looks a little bit blown out on my screen, but I'm going to have to trust it here because my screen's a little bit different than what you guys have. And that's going to be it for me. I'm going to say, all right, I'm going to make my properties panel go back. And then that's it. That's all I need to do. Now I'm ready to print. No, wait, I'm not. You may think you're ready to print, but you're not. You've actually got to resize your image and make sure that it's going to be the correct inches tall by the correct inches wide and the correct resolution for our lab. So we go up here to image, we click on image. In the drop-down menu, we go to image size. And then right here, we get 17 by 11 inches. And 170 is our resolution. None of that is correct. None of that matches anything in our lab. So we need to fix that. Our printer has a native resolution of 360 dots per inch. Dots per inch is dots of ink per inch. And it should correlate with pixels per inch on the resolution of your image. So we need to fix this. So all we need to do is right here, we need to just highlight the 170 or whatever number you have that's not 360 and type in 360. So that's solved. And then the next thing we need to do is actually convert this to the correct inches. I want to print 12 by 8. So all I need to do is find my biggest number, which is the 17 point whatever here, and type in a 12. And then I automatically get the 8 because these are linked together. That's all I got to do. I'm going to say, okay. Boy, it's got to think about that because I don't know why. I don't know why it has to think about that. If I did this on my tower, it'd be a lot faster. The laptop struggles with these things. Okay. Next thing I need to do is I need to flatten the layers. The whole printing process happens a lot faster if you flatten your layers. So if we go here, we can see that I've got 3 layers. I've got my original, which is my background. I've got a working layer, and I've got my brightness. I need to flatten those. So I'm going to go up here to layers, and then all the way down, 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 down. Keep going, keep going, keep going. I'm going to say flatten image. I know there's no shortcut for that. So I say flatten image. Are you sure? Uh-huh, I'm sure. Okay, and now I flattened this. And now I've resized it. Well, I cropped it, I resized it, I flattened it. Now I've got to save it correctly to print. So I'm going to go up here to File. I'm going to go to Save As. And then I need to name this. This is not what your window is going to look like because you're on a Mac, but same idea here, same paradigms. I'm going to rename it so that we know who to charge, and I'm going to name it Nick Marusek. And I don't know how many I'm going to print today, so I'm going to say 01 in case I send 2 or 3 images to be printed today. And the next thing I'm going to do is I'm actually going to save it as a TIFF because we like to save things as TIFFs to print because TIFFs are lossless. They do not compress when we save them. And I would make sure that I put it in the right place. I'm not going to worry about that right now because you have your own system of where you're saving your files, but you want to make sure you put it in the right place. So I've named it to my name, Mick Marusek 01, and I'm saving it as a TIFF. I've flattened it, I've cropped it, I've resized it, I've done everything. Save. And then I'm ready to send it to print. Oh yeah, when you get these dialog boxes that come up, a lot of times you should read all the options and make logical choices. In this case with the TIFF, please don't change anything. These are all presets. They should stay the same. Don't worry about them. All right, that's it. I'm ready to go. And then from here, if you're in the lab, you would go to File and you would go to Print. I'm not going to do it because I've got something else entirely happens when I click on that here on my computer because I'm not at the lab. But when you click here, you'll get a different dialog box. Please read your options, make logical choices. All right, that's it. So hopefully that